Alright, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to write the equation using the vertex and a point. If we're going to write the equation using the vertex and the point, then let's just look at our two equations that we have first. The two equation types that we have are the standard form and the vertex form. It says, when you are given the vertex and a point, plug them into the vertex form and solve for A. Okay? So if you have the vertex, then you have h comma k. There's nowhere to plug in h and k for the standard form. So if somebody gives you the vertex for a quadratic, then plug it into the vertex form. And that's why you should probably memorize that form. Go ahead and write it an extra time because you're not going to remember it if all you do is read it. You have to write it to remember it. A parentheses x minus h squared plus k. In this first example, we have a vertex at -4, 5. So that -4 is going to be thrown in here for h. But remember, if we plug in a -4 inside of that parentheses, we're going to have to change the sign of it. So that's going to be x plus 4 squared plus k. So that k, we're just going to grab that. It's going to be a 5. We don't know what a is, and we're still equal to y. Okay, so we have y equals a, x plus 4 squared plus 5. We have too many unknowns the way that it is. That's why they gave you this second point. If you know the vertex and one other point, then you can create the vertex form equation. It's just going to take a few steps. And that's why we just practiced in that last video converting vertex form into standard form, because we're about to have to distribute some things. So let's take this point, this -2, 7. -2, 7. That is an x and a y. Those two numbers come from the graph, and the graph is all x's and y's. So this -2 is an x. So let's just put it for x and see what happens. -2 plus 4 squared plus 5 times a equals y, but the y is 7. So we're going to take the 7, throw it in there, and then now we have to do is simplify. A -2 plus a 4. That's a 4 with a -2. 4 minus 2 is 2. Square it, you're going to get 4. So this is going to make 4 times a plus 5 equals 7. And once you're here, we just got 2 steps to go to solve this equation. We're going to subtract the 5. 7 minus 5 will make 2. So if we have a 2 on the left equal to 4a, we're going to divide by the 4 and get that a equals 2 over 4, which is the same thing as 1/2. A equals 1/2. So the answer to this question is going to be, since a equals 1/2, y will be equal to, we're going to do the vertex form, 1/2 x plus 4, because we have the vertex, squared plus 5. So if you remember whenever we used to take 2 points and turn them into a line, if you have 2 points and one of those points is the vertex, then you can take those 2 points and turn them into the equation for a quadratic. You just have to solve for the a, which takes a few steps, but it's not bad at all. Let's do another couple together. The vertex is 0, 4, and it passes through 2, 0. The vertex is 0, 4, it passes through 2, 0. Alright, let's do the next example, but I'm not going to skip any steps. Even if the steps are extremely easy and could be done in your head, I'm not going to skip them when we go through this video, okay? First off, let's just write the equation. If we have the vertex and we have another point, we're going to need to plug them into vertex form. Y equals a parentheses x minus h squared plus k. Okay, then we're going to take the vertex. The vertex goes for h and k. So let's just take these numbers and put them for h and k. Y equals a x minus h, which is 0, squared, plus k, which is a -4. And then I'm going to simplify this. X minus 0 is just x. X minus 0 is x. So then the only thing that we're squaring is x. And then we have a plus a negative 4. When you have a plus and negative, it's just the same thing as writing minus 4. So our equation is ax squared minus 4, and then we have to use this. This is going to be an x and a y. That x and y is going to be on the graph, so it's one of the solutions to this equation. So we're just going to take the x that they gave us, which is 2, and put it for x. A times 2 squared, and then the y will be 0. 0 equals 4a minus 4, because 2 squared is 4. We're going to move the 4, and then we're going to divide by this 4. When we move the 4, we get a 4 on the left. When we divide by 4, we're going to get a 1, which is equal to a. So a is equal to 1. I'm just going to modify this equation that I already have written. Instead of writing a, the answer would be a 1. And since it's a 1 times x, we just write y equals x squared minus 4. Okay, let's do one more together. And I'm telling you, it's not bad. It's just substitution. Substitution, distribution. That was day 3 of Algebra 1. The vertex is this. So let's just throw that into the equation. Y equals a x minus the number they gave you, squared, plus k, which is negative 2. Since I have a plus a negative 2, that's the same thing as just subtracting the 2. Then we take this point, and we're going to use it for an x and a y. The 4 is the x, the 0 is the y. 0 is the y, the 4 is the x. Minus 3 squared minus 2. 4 minus 3 will be 1. So this is going to be a times 1 squared. 1 squared is still 1 times a minus 2 equals 0. Since that's a 1, it doesn't even matter. We have a minus 2 equals 0. What number would a need to be so that if you subtract 2, it's equal to 0? The answer is obviously 2. 2 minus 2 equals 0. So that means y equals 2x minus 3 squared minus 2. But look at these answer choices. The answer choices aren't even in vertex form. So we have to do one more thing. We need to simplify this power and then distribute that 2. The 2 is off to the side. You have to do the power first, that exponent. If you remember the perfect squares, it's going to become the first thing squared minus 2 times the first value times the second one. 3 times x would make 3x, times 2 makes a 6x, and then the 3 squared becomes a plus 9, and then we have this minus 2 off to the side. That'll be the last thing we do. We distribute this 2 to all things. 2x squared minus 12x plus 18 minus 2. The 18 minus the 2 will make this 16, and there we have our answer. So to finish today's lesson, I just need you to finish this next page of examples of using the vertex, plug it into vertex form, using that point, plug it in for x and y. If the answer choices are in standard form, then you're going to have to distribute at the end. But if your answer choices are in vertex form, all you have to do is plug in a, and you're done.